People are not happy about the new WWE 2K25 mode, The Island. It's been poorly received online, and there's been a lot of negative discourse surrounding it. And let me be clear, the negativity online is not overblown, and The Island has the potential to be the downfall of the Creation Suite in future WWE games. So what exactly is The Island? Well, according to the trailer and the Ringside Report, The Island is going to be an online game mode where you take your created superstar through a series of challenges and quests on a large island setting with many different areas, hubs, and stores. 50 players can be in a server, and you can also play matches with these other players too. If you win the matches or complete these challenges, you can level up your character or obtain VC, which is the virtual currency in these games. It's pretty much like the city in the NBA 2K series if you play those games. The goal here pretty much is to level up your character as much as you can and to use the VC you earn to buy special clothing at stores on the island. And in the trailer video for The Island, we get a glimpse of how much these clothing pieces are gonna cost. And the prices are ridiculous. For example, one jacket alone can cost 36,000 VC. If you purchase the Dead Man's edition of WWE 2K25, you will not have enough VC to purchase a singular jacket. Now, if you purchase the Bloodlines edition of WWE 2K25, you'll only have enough VC for 2 jackets. This is the first clue that tells me that VC will not be easy to acquire in The Island. If 2K is not even generous enough to give large amounts of VC to people who buy these very special and expensive editions of the game, you can almost be positive that VC will not be easy to obtain by just grinding. And unfortunately, the only way to obtain VC easily is by purchasing it in the store. And I want you guys to take a look at how much VC costed in WWE 2K24. Looking at the screenshots of The Island, it looks like these crazy prices are only applied to clothing pieces that have these branded logos on them. Most of these pieces already exist as generic versions in the Creation Suite for free. So some people are saying we shouldn't be worried because only retextured and branded items are behind a paywall. And these are items you probably wouldn't realistically be using for your created wrestler anyway. The problem I have with this argument is that it's only true for now. Please remember that locking unique creation parts behind a microtransactional mode is not unfamiliar territory for 2K. In WWE 2K24, they did it with boxing gloves, the only of its kind because it was attached to a persona card which originates from another microtransactional mode, My Faction. I can guarantee by 2K26 or 2K27, new and unique clothing that you actually want will be locked away behind this mode and not just branded or retextured clothing. Because this is a new mode in the WWE series, they're testing the waters to see what they can get away with. They won't go full force with the cash grabbing and the monetization, but they'll normalize it and make us, the players, familiar with the concept. My Faction has already done this by getting a player base familiar with microtransactions, and now we're seeing the consequences with another pay-to-win mode, The Island, being added to this game series. So what possible consequences will The Island have? And in what way will it affect the Creation Suite? The most obvious consequence to me is that the Creation Suite will have a heavier presence of microtransactions. And when you look at the overall Creation Suite, there are many features a company can monetize. It could be new hairstyles in Create a Superstar, or entrance motions in Create an Entrance, or new moves in Create a Moveset. The list can really go on. All of these Creation Suite features have the potential to be linked to The Island in future WWE games. There's a screenshot going around of new payback abilities in WWE 2K25 that have the Island icon attached to them, so this further supports that theory. And I'm not just pulling this out of the sky. It wasn't long ago where moves and creation parts were locked behind VC and loot boxes in the My Career mode in older WWE games. Could we potentially see this come back, but for the actual Creation Suite in future WWE games? And how about how it will affect community creations? Because of The Island, cross-generation sharing of content on community creations will be extremely limited. and the PC will be listed as a last generation system in WWE 2K25, which means PC players won't be able to download content from PS5 and Xbox Series X players, and of course vice versa. The reason for this is because PC will not have the island as it's a last generation system for this game, and the reason for the PC being a last generation system in this game is that they don't want PC players modding or hacking the island. And for the current gen users, any community creations content containing parts from the island will be restricted to users unless they have the same exact parts from the island. It will work the same way as DLC or showcase content, except the island content may be harder to get because there's much more grinding involved. So in its first introduction in the series, we're already seeing the island cause the destabilization in 2 other game modes. It's why I hate when people say, well, if you don't like the mode, then don't play it. This simply isn't true for any mode that involves microtransactions, because the effects can be felt throughout the entire game. It's not that bad when it's first introduced into a series, but as we get more games, it gets worse and worse. And the NBA 2K players have experienced this. Any game mode that generates revenue, the developer will try and use tactics to get you to play. It's as easy as making it the first thing you see when you open the game, or having the locked content that you don't have appear on the character select screen so you feel more enticed to play. These tactics are especially effective on younger children and people who don't really have an understanding of how these things work. So even if you feel like you won't spend a dime on the island or my faction, there are kids ready to spend their parents' credit card, and even some adults too. Last year in WWE 2K24, one Reddit user spent $400, I repeat, $400 on a final boss Rock Persona card. This model didn't even have any updated entrances or commentary lines, but this Reddit user spent $400 of their money on one singular card. WWE Games YouTuber Smack Talks made a video about this, testing the validity of these claims, and sadly they were true. But the craziest thing about that video was that in the comments I found somebody else that spent over £600 on 2 cards in my faction. So even if you avoid the island or my faction, somebody out there is ready to throw their money away. That is why I'm so happy to see a lot of negativity and pushback against the island online. But part of me thinks that this is the loud minority speaking and the silent majority is ready to spend their hard-earned cash. So let me know your thoughts on the island. Are you excited or are you kind of cautious? Do you think it's going to have a large effect on the creation suite in games going forward? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.